Hey there internet, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to play a sequence building game. Juggling sequences then. So first of all, what is a sequence and how does it kind of differ from tricks? I don't know. At least for me and in my head, a sequence is kind of like a string of different tricks put together or different throws, rather than something that kind of repeats and just kind of goes round in a circle, if you know what I mean. So, for example, obviously tricks, box, we can have 4, 2, 3, we could have shower. All of these individually are tricks, but I could make them into a sequence by stringing them together in an order. So let's say we're going to do 3 boxes, 2 4, 2, 3s, and then 3 showers, and make a sequence like that. So box, 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 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, shower, shower, shower. And there you go, that technically is a juggling sequence. However, it's maybe not the most interesting juggling sequence. The type of sequence we are going to look at today is a little bit different from that. The kind of thing we're going to come up with today is more akin to, like, I don't know, I'll pull out things that I've worked on in the past. Oh, if I caught it would have been great. But sequence is more like that sort of thing, where it's like a whole different string of throws and movements all happening kind of, hopefully, smoothly together. There are a whole bunch of different methods, and I like to think of them as games that you can play to help you build sequences. Today we're going to have a look at one of the first ones I learnt. This method was shown to me by a juggling teacher, Seb, who I mentioned in my non-continuous framework video, because he was the person that showed me that as well. Can't really remember if this particular method had a name, so I'm going to call it the one at a time method for building a sequence. Let's dig into it then. First of all, we're going to have a look at the kind of parts that make up a throw. For this video, I'm obviously going to be using balls today, because I do juggling balls mainly. You can also do this with clubs or poi or whatever prop you want. This same method can be applied to any of those other props. So if you don't particularly juggle balls, still maybe worth checking it out. But I think balls are the easiest, at least for demonstration purposes. So I'm going to use balls today. So let's break down the parts of a throw. So, seems kind of silly, obviously a throw is this, a throw is this. But there are a bunch of different parameters we can tweak to get some interesting results. The parameters and the kind of things I like to think about. First of all, where does the throw come from? This first obvious point is from our hand in a kind of standard juggling position. Great. We could also put a throw that comes from our hand on the opposite side of our body. We could put a throw that comes from underneath our leg. We could put a throw that comes, behind our head. This is kind of what I would call the starting position of your throw. Next up, we're going to think about where does the ball travel. Say we've got our throw starting at this position here, the normal juggling position. Where does it travel is more like, I don't know, maybe this one is going to go behind my head. But it starts down in this normal juggling position. Maybe it's going to go under the leg. Maybe it's going to go behind the back. I suppose my position there is maybe a little different from my starting position for the throw. But if I wanted to go, say, behind the back from this starting position, I could go like that. I could do something weird like, there we go. Maybe our throw, instead of just going from one hand to the other, or to the same hand, is going to go through a negative space kind of target that we make from it. And so that is where does it go. The next one, which is kind of similar to where does it go, is how does it get there. For this, we're going to take the example of our throw. It's just going from one hand to the other hand, and it's going to go through just the space in front of us, okay? How does it get there though? We can do things like, maybe it's going to bounce off the arm. Maybe it's going to bounce off that arm to the hand. Maybe it's going to take a knee to there. Maybe it's going to do a roll all the way across our chest and do a chest roll. Maybe it's going to be placed on our head and then taken by our hand. We can do the same up here with like the top of our head. You can do the same into the elbow and shooting it out. So these are a bunch of different ways that we can move the ball from one space to the other. So how does it get there? And the last one we're going to do is how is it caught? So again, it feels like these are kind of similar. I like to differentiate them, so I've got 4 different parameters I can tweak, but how is it caught is pretty simple. Our ball is going to go from one to the other. It's just going to travel through space and it's just going to do a normal throw. So how is it caught? Maybe instead of being caught in the hand normally, it's going to be caught on the back of the hand. Maybe instead of waiting for it to catch, it's going to come and do like a snatch. Maybe it's going to like intercept it right in the middle of its run. Maybe it's going to be trapped between your knee and your hand. And so that's how it's caught. And with these 4 parameters, you can come up with all sorts of throws, all sorts of ways of making the ball move from one place to the other. So now that we've had a quick look at some of like the kind of things you can tweak about your throw, what we're going to do is we're going to start to make a sequence. Before we start making our sequence, the one thing I would really like you to keep in mind here at the start when we just do the one ball bit is make it easy. Don't make this hard. Don't put in your like, you know, your hardest kind of throws or anything like that. Make it simple. Make it something that you can catch like 19 out of 20 times to start with, because as we add more to it and as we put more balls in, it's gonna get harder already. So at this particular point, keep it as simple as you can. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take one ball here, okay? And ideally, I would like you all at home to do your own sequence here. You can copy mine if you want, just to get the feel for it. But I don't think it's probably the most useful for you to copy mine directly. I think the best way you can kind of do this exercise, and again, this is one that I repeat quite a lot to myself, is by coming up with your own sequence as we do this. So to keep it simple and to keep it short and to keep it like manageable to start with, I think we're gonna do a sequence of 5 moves. For me particularly, I would like to make a sequence that loops. So something that when it gets to the end, it's ready to restart. There isn't really a particular reason for this. I just like sequences that loop, so I'm gonna make one of those today. So getting started, let's like take it just super easy, and we're gonna start with like a throw up and down. Great. Maybe then I'm gonna do one over my arm. Maybe then a back cross. Ooh, and then behind the head catch. And I like this little elbow trap. So I'm gonna go up and trap it in my elbow and drop it back down. So yeah, I like that as a sequence. We're gonna go with that. And we're gonna go, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so already I'm feeling like it's going to need some tweaks here before I want to move on to the next step. This is a really good point once you've got your like kind of basic set of throws and stuff down, is to take the opportunity to think about what the rest of you's doing at the same time. Because currently I'm just standing here and it's very like stationary. So I'm going to put a little bit more, like just a little bit of movement into this. I don't have a huge amount of space in my office here, so we're just, yeah, a little bit of movement. So I think this seems fine like this. I think with this, I'm already like wanting to turn here, so I'm going to turn to catch that one. And actually that brings me into a nice position here where I can put the back cross up there. Maybe I'm going to turn back round, because then I get this like swing down, shoot it up behind my head, and then just that last little pop is going to stay the same. Yeah, let's try that. So 1, 2, well, wrong hand. You always got to pay attention here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, oh, and then up to the arm, 5. Yeah, let's do that a few times and just get comfortable. Yeah, I'm happy with that one. And I think it's simple enough that when we start to put more balls in, it's not going to break me too much. But that's always a little bit of fun. So let's move on and try and add a second ball to this sequence. So I've got an orange ball here and we're just going to add that in and we're just going to make a start on trying to add this into our sequence while also not like breaking what the first ball does. That is the idea. So to add our second ball into the sequence, what we want to do is you want to try and kind of just try the sequence with our first ball and see where like we could say add the second ball without it breaking the first ball's sequence. That's one option. You may need to slightly change things. That's fine, your things are not set in stone, but the idea is keep the first ball as much the same as possible while adding the second. So this is probably going to take me like a few iterations to like come up with something I like here. I would say do that yourself, pause the video, give yourself like 5-10 minutes, and then come back and we'll see what we've come up with. Okay, so yeah, I've got something here that I'm pretty happy with. I've decided to go for this like kind of multiplex start here and then popping the orange one out first. I think it's like a nice fun little bit. I'm kind of got a couple bits that I'm like in between whether I want to put in. So there's this drop under here that's kind of fun before the back cross. However, I think it might make the next bit a little hard. So I think I'm just going to keep it as the hold. And then it's all pretty much the same up there. The only thing the orange is doing is just getting out of the way of the red ball. So yeah, just trying to keep the space there for the red ball to do its thing. Then when it got to this bit, the like behind the back, or behind the neck catch, I had a couple options as well. So I was thinking either the orange one can throw first, and we can do that. Or the other option I came up with was actually slightly changing that throw to be like a kind of just pass behind the head, which depending on what the last ball does might be a good option to have in your back pocket. So yeah, and then the last bit I'm just kind of doing this like little like almost this little like kind of boxy thing where it traps under your arm. I haven't done a video on this trick, but there's a whole family of them that I really enjoy and I'm probably going to do a video on that in the future. So keep your eyes peeled. But I'm going to go to here and then drop back. And then I end up with both back in the same hand. If I want to keep the colours the same, I kind of need to swap them. But that lets me loop back around. And so then my sequence becomes this. Yeah, I think that's pretty fun, or good enough for the purposes of this video anyway. As you saw there, the colours do swap if I like go the opposite round, but the ball paths basically stay the same, so I'm going to call that a win. We can also think about if there's any like small tweaks again we might want to make to our sequence at this point here. So I've got a couple in mind, but again, I'm trying to keep it easy because there's still another ball to add in, but I was thinking for this little multiplex at the start, maybe I'm going to do a bounce there as well, so like bounce off my elbow to catch the second ball. So I think that's kind of cool. We could even try and do like a double bounce, I suppose. That might be a bit out of hand, but anyway, let's move on and add a third ball. So, this is where it gets a little more difficult to keep your first two balls doing exactly what they were doing before, especially like the first ball, because it had its path. but again, we want to try and keep it as consistent as possible and change these two as little as possible to fit that one in to start with. After we've got the third ball in, we can go and like, again, tweak it about and play with it to make it like, to really polish off your sequence. But just starting, adding the third ball in, I'm gonna just kind of go through the process here and we're gonna see what happens. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of talk through this one maybe and just let you know what I'm thinking. I'm gonna try and change the first sequence as little as possible to start with. So we're gonna go bum bum over, go to our back cross, we probably multiplex there. So either we could go like there and send them both over. Oh, but that might be fun. Again, we could try the, oh, see this is where your tricks get a bit harder. No interruption there, but let's get back to it. So we started with just that, there, and the back cross. I could just do a multiplex there, I suppose. That worked out. Let's just not think about it, and we're gonna do the thing that just kind of happens, and we're gonna go one, bum, bum, bum. Oh, it was this again, wasn't it? So it was the behind the head, which either I can go like that, like that. Again, this is where it gets hard, yeah? Like that. And then what? There. That's kind of a reset. How about, ooh, we can give a little, just a little like active toot to that green ball there. That's kind of nice. Again, it's that one there, so we'll, yeah, we're gonna do that like stacked multiplex for the back cross, so like one. And then what about our pull behind the head? That's kind of fun there. Then we can go, what here? We want the red ball to go up and the orange to end in this hand. That would be our full reset. If I need to get this green ball out of the way. So what about like, well, knee bounce? Nah, like that, I'll take it. Try that again, just to make sure I'm... All right, so we're progressing. Our sequence currently is oh, I've ended up orange in that hand this time, but that's fine. Okay, so our sequence currently is something like one, oh wait, I ended up wrong again there somehow. So is that a breakage in the sequence? Maybe. Let's go back to the drawing board then. There we go. If I just like pop that in the other direction, yeah. Yeah, I like that finish. That's kind of funky. Let's try the whole thing in one then. So we're there you go. And that's our sequence. Okay. So that's just the green ball fitted in. We haven't really done much tweaking yet, but I like where this is going. So oh wait, no. Knee bounce, and then up and down. So now that I have a sequence to work with, let's go through it. We're just gonna like tweak a few bits and just polish it off. I don't want this video to go on too much longer, but yeah, let's have a little polishing session. So things that I like, things that I don't like. I don't entirely like this start. This like kind of little like 3-up box thing. It's fun, it's fun, but I think it could be better. So what about if we were to go do something more interesting with the green ball rather than just giving it a little throw? What about like a, go over the arm there? That's kind of funky. Or we could do, I liked the like elbow bounce before with that multiplex, but I think I think it's a little weird there now with 3. So what about if I did like I kind of bounced the green ball off of this arm instead? That'd be fun. What about, less keen on that actually. Well, okay, maybe. It's got a lot of movement to it. Maybe that could be a thing. I also do quite like the throw over the arm there. I think that's got quite a nice like kind of feel to it as well. Maybe even like a drop. Drop could be kind of fun if we went, oh, let my hands do it fast enough. That's also kind of fun. All feels a little hectic sometimes though. I think for the most part, I am happy with this sequence, at least for now. So yeah, there we go. That is how to build a sequence using this like kind of one at a time method, where we're doing our first ball, and then we add in the second, and then we add in the third. You can obviously, for each of the steps in the sequence, go into it again and really think about the kind of aspects of your throw and like tweak some parameters, and like you get something very different looking. And hopefully you should all have a sequence of your own now that you can go off and practice. And you know what? I would absolutely love to see them. So if you do come up with a sequence from watching this video, send it my way. In terms of kind of final rounding off of this video, it's a little bit harder because I've kind of just been rambling the whole way through, but there are obviously a whole bunch of different like sequence building exercises and games you can play, and you can pick and choose bits of any of these games in order to build sequences. So I'm going to do some more videos on sequence building games in the future, so keep your eyes peeled for that when I get around to it. And until then, I hope you've enjoyed the video today, and I'll see you in the next one.